in this series is averaging 5 points and 9.5 rebounds per game. McHale comes out and Wedman is in for the Celtics. What a great first half for Kevin McHale. 23 points. Jordan has sat down. He's got 14, but he has picked up 4 personals here in the first half. Corzine in the inbounds to Macy. Celtics by 13 points, their biggest lead of the first half. Unlike the first 2 games where Chicago took the lead in the first half, the Celtics have swooped out to a lead in this one and have never looked back. Corzine outside, no. Rebound, Woolridge. Macy now inside to Corzine. Tipped up, no. Tipped up, yes. Sidney Green tips it in.
That's what Green can do, and about the only thing he's done in this series so far is you must keep him off the offensive board. He is a leaper, and unless you give him body pressure, he's going to do some damage.
Bird is knocked out of bounds by Woolridge. And the foul is on Orlando Woolridge. Larry Bird will be at the line to shoot 2.
It is. Bird spinning away from Woolridge. Lee Jones, unfortunately, is in our way, but you see the last little bump there where Woolridge, you know, Bird's had an excellent, someone said today, a quiet series. Of course,
averaging 33 points a game.
Yeah, everything has been understated in terms of Jordan's spectacular performance. But Bird, yeah, as you say, is averaging 33. But with that said, Woolridge, I think, has done a pretty good job in at least minimizing his attempts with his overplay D. He's got strength. He's got good speed and quickness to go with that strength. He's been able to overplay Bird and keep it out of his hands at least more than most defenders are able to do.
Paxson has it stolen by Wedman. Gets it ahead for Larry Bird. Bird is averaging 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists per game in this series. Celtics lead by 13 with a minute and a half to go in the first half. DJ to Bird. Now they don't double team him, so he pops from outside. That's the beauty of Larry Bird. When they double team him, he'll pass it off and find the open man for the easy shots. When they leave him alone, he'll bury it.
See, they've been clearing that weak side on that double team, so it allows the guard that's left alone to simply take a cut to the basket, and Bird's been finding him. Sidney Green.
64-51. Chicago cuts it back to 13. Walton has it now. Corzine on him.
Every time a Sidney Green makes an outside shot, that helps your offense.
Yeah, because he'll try it again.
That encourages him to do it again.
On the way to the hoop, it's blocked. Green, however, was fouled. And the foul is called on Larry Bird, his 3rd personal foul. So Bird, McHale, and Parrish all have 3, and Jordan has 4.
Boy, that's a bad call there. Green just gets to Bird, who's got the position established, and jumps smack into him. No attempt to avoid the contact, and they called a block rather than a charge. They've been actually doing a pretty good job under somewhat difficult circumstances, you might imagine, the officials tonight. But I think I would disagree with that call.
One more free throw for Sidney Green. Misses it. Walton the rebound. Bird outside. 2 more. Larry starting to heat it up. 10 points in the game for Larry Bird. Celtics by 14. 66-52.
Simply too many guns. McHale does a number inside. He goes to the bench. Bird starts to open up. We saw Johnson and Ainge take turns in the first couple of games in the second half, scoring 24 points and opening up the game. It's got to be discouraging for an opponent. Just too many guns in the arsenal.
Down to 14 seconds to play in the first half. The Celtics' biggest lead of this half has been 15. They jumped out to an 8-2 lead after the first 2 minutes, and it's been a Celtics game ever since. Blocked by Walton. Here comes Wedman with a second to go, and that is the end of the first half. After 1. Here in Chicago, the scores. The Celtics, 66. Chicago, 52. Let's take a break. When we get back, Jack Hines.
That I've been listening to for, well, I don't know, John, how many years is it now?
107.
I thought we're 104 or 5, right around there. Johnny, what did you think of the first half? To go about the way you expected?
Well, the way I hoped, anyhow, but I think that there are adjustments that have to be made on both sides, and in Boston's case, what they were doing, the way they adjusted to Jordan is they jumped out on him on a double team very suddenly. They didn't come right out on him and give him a chance to think of what he wanted to do. But with maybe 12, 14, 15 seconds on the clock already elapsed, they suddenly would jump a big guy out on him. Either Bird or Walton or Parrish or McHale. They jump out on him very suddenly and make him do something else. And frequently his passing was a little bit shoddy, and they were able to capitalize on that. They picked the ball off a number of times.
Then do you expect Bird to get more involved in the offense in the second half? Does he have to?
Yeah, they've been holding him a lot. They've been double-teaming him right away. I mean, he draws a double team all the time, and what he's tried to do is find a cutter, and he did find DJ a couple of times. But now what I think they're doing is they're popping him out off a pick, and I think you'll see a little bit more of that.
Well, they're up by 14 right now, 66-52. John, we have a couple of partial scores, and there's a Detroit-Atlanta. I think that's a little bit of a surprise right now, don't you think so, Dylan? We've got Detroit leading Atlanta 64-49 in the second.
Well, you know, New Jersey is ahead of Milwaukee, but, you know, where are they playing that one?
That should be in Milwaukee, I believe.
Well, Detroit and Atlanta, it's not that much of a surprise because Detroit is a very tough club to beat in Detroit.
Yeah. I hope we didn't get back here again Friday night, John. Thank you. Okay. Johnny Most, the voice of the Boston Celtics on radio for many years. I'm Bill O'Connell. Gil and Cruz will be back right after this.
Tonight's halftime guest will receive a gift certificate from Mr. Sid of Newton.
Stadium at halftime, the Celtics lead by 14 points, 66-52. The Celtics led by 10 at the end of the first quarter, 33-23. Scored Chicago 33-29 in the second quarter for a 14-point lead. Two big stories in the first half individually. Kevin McHale has just been torching Dave Corzine in the first half. Kevin has 23 points in the ball game. On the other side, the big story, Michael Jordan has been held, if you will, to 14 points in the first half, and he has picked up 4 personal fouls. He sat out the last 5 minutes of the first half. The rest of the individual scoring very well balanced for the Celtics after McHale's 23. Dennis Johnson has 11. Robert Parrish and Larry Bird have 10 each. Danny Ainge has 8. Bill Walton has 4. For Chicago, after Jordan's 14, Dave Corzine has 12, and John Paxson has 10 in the ball game. The statistical story, the Celtics are smoking hot, 26 of 45 for 58%. Chicago 21 of 50 for 42%. Boston 14 out of 15 at the foul line. Chicago just 9 of 14. And there you see the rebounding edge, a 1 rebound edge for Boston in the first half, but it just seemed as though they had a lot more than that 1 rebound edge. Turnovers are pretty even, 5 on each club. The Celtics have played a very strong all-around first half. They came out with tremendous intensity on both the offensive and defensive ends. They immediately double-teamed Michael Jordan all over the floor. Dennis Johnson picked him up, rather, all over the floor. And as soon as he got the thing within 20 feet of the hoop, the Celtics came out and double-teamed on him, and it has been very effective. It's knocked him off his rhythm. It's halftime in Chicago. The Celtics in Game 3. Could be the last one. Lead it by 14.
Case, 14 points and 4 fouls on Michael Jordan. You've got to be pleased with that first half of action. Also, it appeared you were trapping Michael earlier, forcing him to get rid of the ball. Is that so?
Yeah, what we wanted to do was trap him wherever he was so that he could not get started and get the crowd going and get those big points as he did the past 2 ball games. So we wanted to trap him, make him give it up, and then try to deny him getting the ball back.
And force the other guys to beat you.
No question about that, yeah, but we didn't want Paxson driving to the basket and getting those easy layups. Also, starting this half here, we'd like to get 1 more foul on Jordan so we can get him out of the ball game because he can explode at any time.
Tell you, another half like that, and we can kiss goodbye to Chicago. Go get him, Coach. Let's go back to Gil.
All righty, the Celtics are up by 14 at 66-52 here at halftime. Both clubs back out warming up. We're only about 20 seconds away from the start of the second half of this one. The personal foul situation could become troublesome. 3 for Larry Bird, 3 for Kevin McHale, 3 for Robert Parrish, and for Chicago, Michael Jordan with 4 is the one person in real foul trouble in the ball game. But the 3 Celtics front court men all with 3, and that could be a problem later on in this basketball game. The Celtics took control of it early on, jumped out to an 8-2 lead.